Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon, Adam.
Okay, let's bring the meeting to order. This is the Historic District Commission. The date is September 10th, 2020. This hearing was published in the Friday edition of the Fairfield Citizen on August 28th, 2020. The time is 4:15. Designation of alternate voting is Bohan Clerk. And if we can go around and take attendance. Starting with Art.
James P. Bohan, alternate commissioner.
Art Gravanis, hopefully you can hear me, Commissioner.
Margaret Kupperman, Commissioner.
George Clark, alternate commissioner.
Rosina Negron, Commissioner.
Chris.
Hi, Chris J., Commissioner.
And Adam Cliver, Commissioner. Okay, first on the agenda, and Sheila is present as well. First on the agenda is Haley and Christopher Milligan, 75 Old South Road in Southport. For A, new 3-car garage with office above and existing 2-car garage footprint, 12 feet wider than existing. B, additional windows in master hall on second floor, and C, additional window in mudroom.
Hi, this is Tanner White. I'm the architect. Oh, can I speak now? Sorry.
Yes, please.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, this is Tanner White. I'm the architect speaking on behalf of the owners, Chris and Haley Milligan, who live at 75 Old South. I'm here again. We've actually, we got a previous permit approved, I want to say maybe 3 months ago, for the 2-car garage addition with the office space below, or office space above. And we are seeking another approval because as the current situations have continued to progress, they've decided that this is going to be their permanent home. And with that, their in-laws are going to stay there. So they are requesting a new HCC approval for a 3-car garage with the exact same design that was previously approved, just extending 1 bay for the addition of the 3rd car. We just received the ZBA variance last Thursday, which was a condition of the HCC approval, obviously, and are seeking to keep everything in line with what it was previously approved, just extending it to a 3-car garage. There is another 3-car garage house on Old South, maybe 3 or 4 doors down. Everything's still going to be in keeping with the nature of the current house, and all the same materials would be used as previously approved. We're just simply trying to get, one more space to not be, quite frankly, to not have the car sitting out in the driveway, as it is an in-law who's going to be staying there. And I believe that's the short. There's also one other. I'm sorry. There's also one other thing. We're trying to add another couple of windows on the 2nd floor in the hallway. The same windows that are going to match the rest of the house. We're requesting to add 3 additional windows. In addition to the one that is there, and that's the long and short of our application. It's pretty straightforward, but if you have any questions, I'll hold the board up to you guys at this time.
Okay, Tanner, do you think you can walk us through the drawings?
Yeah, I'll share. I share my screen. Let's see here. Let me know if everyone can see my screen.
Can see it.
Okay, perfect. So the existing house, I'll show you the existing footprint. The existing house is here. This is a 2D elevation of the front of the house. That's the existing 2-car garage that we would be demolishing and building a new 2-car garage, but in this case, hopefully a 3rd-car garage. And that, and then here's the singular window on the second floor, which is currently in the master bathroom, which is going to be converted into a hallway to get into this office space here. The front rendering of this house, I will show you as well. Yeah, here we go. Existing photos. Just bear with me. So while I'm waiting for this, oh, here we go. Here's the existing house. So this is a picture of the existing house as it stands today. Again, just demolishing this, putting in its place a 3-car garage, which that elevation would look like this here. So 3 new garage doors with the dormer above and 4 additional windows. The previous, to also just refresh everyone's memory, the previous HDC application that was approved for the 2-car garage, the aesthetic was, the front of the house, I should say, looked like this. So there was a 2-car, again, 2 bays, dormer above with the windows there. And we're simply taking that existing, or that previously approved design and stretching it to accommodate for the 3rd bay. In addition, I mentioned the additional windows that we're asking for on the hallway there, and you can see them just to the right there, above the mudroom door.
Anything else?
That's all I have. So I'll leave, let you guys ask me any questions if you have it this time. I'll stop sharing my. Well, do you want me? I'll keep the screen on in case you want me to flip to something.
Okay, thank you. Art, do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you, Adam.
Jim, any questions? Jim Bohan.
Requirements, limits?
Sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. With the addition, are you still needing the lot coverage limits?
We exceeded the lot coverage by, we were at 16.1% and we went up to 16.4%, and that was approved last Thursday.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
we're not violating any setbacks. We're still staying within all setbacks. We're just increasing the total lot coverage by 0.3%.
Okay, thank you. No other questions.
Margaret,
I have no questions.
questions?
Thank you.
Okay, Chris?
Hi, Tanner. Quick question on, could you go through again for me the added window in the mudroom?
Yes.
What was originally approved?
Yes, absolutely. So here is my application here, 3-car garage. Additional window in mudroom, you're right. So currently, I'll bring up the photo. Currently, there's there's one window that we're asking to add here, just to bring extra light into the mudroom, and then the windows above were the other ones that I mentioned earlier. So this extra window that we're adding here, I'm showing on this elevation here.
Okay. And then the upstairs in the master hallway,
Yes.
how's that different from what was previously approved for those windows?
So nothing really changed here. However, I had not specifically called out these 3 windows, although it was on the previous application. I didn't write it down, so I figured that that wasn't part of the things that were being approved. So I wanted to bring it to this hearing just to add that into there, because I did forget to bring that up, and so I don't want to do anything that's not specifically called to attention to request for approval. So it was on the previous application.
Okay, got it. And then the other thing I'm just curious about, there aren't any light fixtures indicated in this application, and I'm wondering, are you going to come back for those, or are they not going to be any light?
Well,
Like
that's a good point. So the previous application, we were basically just replacing the two garage doors that were there, and the existing there's an existing light. Let me pull this up. There's already an existing sconce here between the two garage doors, and we're just going to keep that.
Yeah.
But to your point, by adding on another garage bay, we would want to have to balance that another light here.
And so since that's not on the application, I think you'd have to come back another
That's
time
fine.
for that.
I'm completely fine with that.
And then what about, same thing with the mudroom door? It looks like there might be an existing sconce there, but your new drawing doesn't indicate one.
We would keep that existing sconce there. We wouldn't be removing that. The window would be to the left of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rosina.
My only question at the moment is on the drawings, the legend, it shows a note about stone terrace and pavement. Is that part of this application?
I'm sorry. The
If you
screen.
look at the legend, there's a few things in bold, two of which are the windows, which are part of the application. But I was wondering if that stone terrace and pavers was intended to be part of this as well.
They are not. They are not.
Okay.
This proposed walk is not.
Thank you. That's it.
And I don't have any questions, Tanner.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else? I did not receive any letters in favor of this application, and I did not receive any letters opposed to this application, so the hearing's closed. Thank you, Tanner.
Great. Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is Gerardo and Gabrielle Byrd, 494 Harbor Road in Southport. Not sure if someone is here to represent this application. Margaret, can you confirm? Because I know you're recusing yourself.
I was muted. There's a phone number I don't recognize. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll read it and see if somebody shows up. Never mind. So Gerardo and Gabrielle Byrd, 494 Harbor Road in Southport, for property located at 494 Harbor Road in Southport. For A, reinstall previously approved front door storm screens. B, new window in existing opening. C, remove shelves on rear porch. D, relocate, replace 2 exterior doors and 1 stoop. E, new pantry window. And F, relocate, replace range hood vent. Is there anyone here to represent this application? If there is, please speak up now. Excuse me. So we'll move on. We'll put that one at the end. The next application is Pretty and Vikram Bhutani, 480 Old Post Road in Fairfield, for property located at 480 Old Post Road in Fairfield. To A, replace chain link fence with cedar fence on east side of house. B, extend cedar fence on west side from back of garage to front end of garage. And C, move picket fence from back of garage to front end of garage. Mr. Bhutani? Oh, he's muted. Mr. Bhutani?
Yes, can you hear me, Adam? Adam, can you hear me?
Go ahead, please. Yes, go ahead, please. Vikram. Please identify yourself for the record.
I'm sorry? Yes.
Please just identify yourself for the record before you proceed.
This is Vikram Bhutani. Adam, I had submitted the drawings in my application, so I don't have anything
on screen to share.
Okay.
What we've done is when we submitted the application the last time for the fence around the pool, we put in the back of the house. Our neighbors on the east side of the house had requested that the chain link fence, it would be nice if we could replace that with the cedar fence. We were putting a cedar fence around the rest of the, on the other two sides of the property. So we replaced the chain link fence on the east side with the cedar fence. Now the cedar fence is 6 feet high up to the side of the house. And then from the front of the house to the end of the property, it is only 4 feet high. So it is lower than the old chain link fence was. So what you see on the right of that gate in that picture, we have since cut that down. So on the right of the gate, that has been cut down, the right of the picket fence, sorry, has been cut down to 4 feet all the way to the front of the property, to the street. Whereas what is on the left of the picket fence, the back of the property stays at that height, 6 feet cedar fence, all the way to the back of the property along the private driveway. Yeah, that has been cut. Since that picture was taken, it has been cut down to 4 feet. Yes.
So you're saying this fence here is not 4 feet?
It is, I guess that is 4 feet, yes.
Okay.
And then
I have a
on this
recent
side
picture
of
if that helps at some point.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, Rosina, can you just wait for questions? Thank you. Go ahead, Vikram.
So that's the fence on the left of the garage as you see it. In our last application that was approved further back along the garage, but there is a 9-foot drop from the front of the garage to the back of the garage. So when the fence company came in to put the fence having to open outwards, they are having a lot of trouble putting it there and be able to open the fence outwards. Also, because the house is so close to the street, we've had, and I guess this is par for the course in this part of the town, people walking around taking pictures. We figured if we could just move the fence to the front of the house, the front of the garage, it would prevent people from walking onto the property or walking along the neighbor's driveway and taking pictures. And also be easier to open the door, the gate outwards, which is why we are requesting to move that fence to where you see it in that picture.
Okay.
That's on both sides of the garage.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, Art, do you have any questions?
No, thank you, Adam.
Jim, questions?
Yeah, I don't remember approving that fixture on the fence. You know, the picture we're looking at that now, with the 3 cars in front of the 2-bay garage. That what's that called?
The arbor?
Oh, the arbor.
The 75, yeah, I don't remember the commission approving an arbor at that point. That's question number one. And then two.
It wasn't approved.
Right. And then two, if the reason for moving the fence on, we're looking at the left-hand side of the two-bay garage from the rear to the front, is the gate couldn't open. Could not you get a different direction gate?
No, because of the pool requires the gate to open outwards and not inwards.
I think
By the
that's
building
correct.
code.
I think that's correct for a passenger gate.
Can we, George,
This-
George, can we just wait? Hey, George,
I'm
can we
sorry.
just wait for your turn, please? Thanks.
Sure.
Jimmy, you
That
done?
was what,
Or do you have more questions?
I just had those two, that the arbor was not approved and that could not the problem of the gate interfering with the slope of the land, could not that be addressed with just an opposite opening gate? How close is that gate to the pool?
I'm sorry?
How close is
How
that
close
gate to
is
the
the-
pool?
30 feet. 30,
Okay.
yeah, I would think about 30 feet.
So those are the two questions, you know, why are we
You're
seeing,
absolutely, sorry.
why are we
Sorry, go
seeing
ahead.
an arbor built that was never approved? And two, could we not address the interference of the gate with the terrain with just an opposite opening gate?
So as far as the arbor is concerned, you're absolutely right. I did not realize that. And I guess you'll hear a lot about this in my response today because we are new to this neighborhood, and we are learning that we absolutely nothing can be done without running it by the historical district. And it's my fault we're learning this a hard way. But yes, I have no problem putting in an application for the arbor, which I intend to do as soon as possible for the next meeting. As far as opening the gate, we did check with the town and also obviously the gate company, Anastasio, and we were specifically told that because of the pool code, the gate can only open outwards and not inwards.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Margaret, do you have any questions?
None, thank you.
No, Margaret?
Oh, Margaret, sorry.
Margaret?
Sorry, I was muted. I don't have any questions, no.
Okay, thank you. Chris, do you have any questions?
Did the stockade fence that was that approved? I don't recall that. Yeah, that picture right there. I mean, it just seems to me as though
I know.
It's kind of like a showroom for different types of fencing there. Got a little bit of everything. I'm surprised we would have approved that.
So there was I'm sorry, did you need me to respond?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
if you
Vikram.
could please respond to whether or not that stockade fence was approved. And it just seems to me as though it doesn't go with the wrought iron and the picket fence that are adjacent to it.
So there was a chain link fence And when we had submitted our application the last time, the neighbors had submitted a request for the chain link fence, if we could replace it with a cedar fence similar to what we have around the rest of the property, which is why we
Can't hear,
acceded
there's a
to that.
dog in the background.
We acceded to that request and have put a cedar fence. There is a similar, much larger fence forward to us, which is visible from the street as well.
Okay. Thank you. That's my only question.
Okay, George? Question?
Well, I guess if you've asked, Jim has asked questions. I don't know if you need us for both supposed to. So maybe I should just step out of this one and I'll go to the next one. Adam,
Oh, okay.
is that, I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. You can ask,
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
you can ask questions, you just can't, like, be part of the deliberation.
Okay, well, the only I guess the question is to Chris's question: was the stockade fence approved? I get that you replaced the chain link, but did we approve
some of it
the
was
stockade
approved.
fence? Okay.
Some of it we did.
Okay, then I don't have any questions.
Okay. Rosina?
What was the answer, Adam? We did approve it?
We approved some stockade fence or this board fence. It's not really a stockade fence. It's a
Right.
we did approve. I'm not sure if it's sort of unclear, but anyway, go ahead, Rosina, if you have any questions.
Yes. If I could share the photo that I have, it shows the lower fence,
Sure.
but it also shows that the approved fence on June 11th was actually so here you can see how they lowered the front of the fence, but also the fence that is adjacent to the covered porch was not approved in that location. Both this fence and the fence in the garage were approved further back, kind of not aligned with the house or the garage, but towards the back of the house. So that's kind of one of my concerns is that tall picket fence that was never approved, the cedar fence that changes in height, but it seems that if we will have approved something in that location, maybe a picket fence will have made a little bit more sense. And the arbor, which was never submitted or approved, and the location of the fence on the other side of the garage. So those are kind of my concerns, that basically all the work was already done, but none of it was approved, and the approved work was changed from what it was submitted. So that's it.
Okay. All right, thanks. I'd have to agree with you. I mean, I'm looking at the survey from the application back in June, and it's a little confusing. It looks like the chain link fence actually goes to the back corner of the house and then returns.
Yeah.
But our intention was definitely not to have that board fence. Actually, the board fence, even that we're looking at, this fence also is too far. I think it's all the way out here now, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
I'm asking Vikram though.
Yes, so that was the purpose of this application, was because we put the cedar fence on that side, and we reduced the height of the cedar fence, which is why we moved the picket fence to the front part of the house. It's, again, and I shared this with you earlier, privacy concerns. We have little girls in the back around the pool, and with us being so close to the street, people being able to drive past and drive down the side driveways and take pictures, we wanted to keep the fence as far up front as possible to reduce the chances of people doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I really don't have any other questions. I mean, you know, personally, I think the fence is being located on the back of the garage here and on the back of the house, maybe not on all the way in the back in this location, and the fence here would be much more attractive and much more appropriate for especially the Old Post Road, which is, you know, pretty sensitive to having these fences up against the house the way you have them, and especially with the arbor and all that. The fence here, definitely, that cedar fence, the way it interacts with the other two fences is not appropriate at all. That's in my opinion. So anyway, those are my comments. Vikram. Do you have anything else to say, Vikram?
No, I mean, this is our biggest concern is privacy. We obviously are learning the hard way, but we want to do what is right. And we really appreciate if we can figure out a way to maintain the authenticity of the neighborhood, but at the same time make sure that it can work with requirements of today's life.
Okay.
I have one more question.
I feel like your pool is pretty. Okay, Jim, go ahead.
Those two picket fences parallel to the Old Post Road. I don't remember those being on any application. You know, looking down, looking north, it almost looks like a steeplechase course.
They were on our prior application that was approved.
I just don't remember them. You know, what's the purpose of those two picket fences, you know, on east of the house? How far apart are they? Like 6 feet or 10 feet?
Jim, are you talking about these?
Are you talking about what in the photograph you showed of the no, the other one,
these?
The earlier one. No. On the east side of the house, there was a photograph. I think maybe Bhutani had it.
No,
it looked like.
Is this the east side of the house?
Yeah, that's the east side of the house, but that's the neighbor's fence. The white picket fence on the right of the picture.
There are two fences, you know, parallel to the Old Post Road.
This one?
No. Oh, gosh.
I think it was the photo that I shared.
This one?
No.
What is suggesting? All right, Jim. Well, you gotta be able to articulate this because I don't know what you're talking about.
I think Rosina's right. It's the photo that she shared.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one, Jim?
There's two parallel fences.
existing-
What's the purpose of those? As I say, it almost looks like a
One-
steep. Both fences are
One's
parallel to the old post road, correct?
Jim, one's supposed to be
Both white
further
fences.
back, and the tall. Hey, Jim. One was supposed to be a pool fence, which is why it's tall, and it's supposed to be set back much further than it is.
Yes. Yes.
That's why we're here right now
And-
discussing this, because it's not in the right spot.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jim. Okay, so I have, I don't have any letters of support for this application, but I do have two letters in opposition, which I'll read into the record. The first one's from Alden H. Stevens, 472 Old Post Road. With regard to public hearing item 3 in the September 10th, 2020 Fairfield Historic District Commission meeting, Priti and Vikram, Bhutani, 480 Old Post Road, Fairfield, Connecticut, 06824 for property located at 480 Old Post Road. Without permission, a gate mechanism was added to the fence, providing access from Mr. Bhutani's property to the driveway shared by 472 Old Post Road, 466 Old Post Road, and 458 Old Post Road. There is no gate shown in the proposed diagram submitted to the commission. I'd like to lodge a complaint and have all the gate hardware removed from the fence and the two gate panels attached to a fence post on the property line to permanently prevent any access between Mr. Bhutani's property and the shared driveway. Thank you, Alden Stevens. And according to Mr. Bhutani, that's already underway, verifying that situation. The next letter is from JP Friends and Associates. Dear Commissioners, this is September 10th, 2020. The application for fencing at 480 Old Post Road has come to my attention as several of my friends live in the neighborhood. Also, a few years ago, my firm renovated the Greek Revival home immediately to the west. My understanding is that this application today is intended to legalize the work already done that differs from what was approved at the August hearing. I have a problem with this since there are no drawings other than a plan to explain what is being proposed. I think it's something we should consider this when other applicants are required to provide existing and proposed elevation drawings of the proposed fencing and other improvements. Having said that, if the commission is willing to spend the additional time to understand what has been done and how it differs from the approval, a decision might be possible. The real substance of my concern is the detail of the east side of the property where the cedar board fence comes almost to the street line. There's a very beautiful iron fence there. This occurs in the presence and misalignment of the board fence is totally inappropriate. I would question the need for any fence from the end of the pool enclosure at 480 to the road, but if a fence is really needed, why not a living fence with shrubbery to allow the relationship of the existing street side fences to remain as is. Failing that, the cedar board fence should be lowered so as not to be higher than any part of either of the street side fences. I also believe that the pool enclosure fence should stop at the back of the garage as originally proposed. The effect of moving it forward gives the impression of a corral. In my opinion, out of the respect of everybody's time, the commission should deny the application without prejudice and require the applicant to reconsider and carefully document what is being proposed. And those are the two letters. The hearing is closed. Thank you, Vikram.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Mr. and Mrs. Robert C. Wright, 260 Harbor Road in Southport for property located at 260 Harbor Road in Southport to A, replace existing fieldstone, bluestone steps, and retaining walls with less steep set of steps in existing location, all materials to match existing. B, add bronze and painted steel handrails in various locations as shown on plan. We have someone here to represent this application.
Hi, yeah, I'm John Wazalewski. I'm with David Scott Parker Architects, and I'm representing the owners of the property, Bob and Susan Wright. And if I may, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see that okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Can you all
thank you.
hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay. I'm going to, this is an aerial view of the house. I'm going to zoom in for just a second. This is the existing house. There are steps and walkways on the front and going up to the back. The Wrights have just purchased the property. Mr. Wright is elderly, had a severe fall a year ago, after which he was in bed rest for 4 months. He is able to walk now, but he walks very poorly. And so they have asked that we install handrails at various locations so that he can get safely into the house. The locations we're talking about are along this front walkway from the street, along this side walkway and steps from the driveway that go up to the front door, along the front door, and also along these existing stone steps at the back of the property. In addition to the handrails, these front steps are quite steep, so he has asked if we could have them rebuilt at a more gradual pitch, so they would be a lower rise, a deeper tread, and more risers. We would also be extending the existing stone retaining walls further across the face of the property. This would all be done in materials to match the existing fieldstone walls that are already there. To go back out again, you can see this is the view of the front of the house, that front walkway. There is an existing handrail there. What we're proposing is very similar, though we would be changing the steel cap to a bronze that would just naturally patina and would not require as much maintenance. The steps that I mentioned coming up from the driveway are here, and we're proposing, these are the steps that we're proposing taking out and rebuilding with a lower riser and a deeper tread, and then extending these fieldstone walls back further up this pathway. And the back walkway you can't see here. I guess you can see it here. So in this aerial view, I'm gonna, again, you can see this is the front walkway from the driveway. You can't see the steps in this image. This would be the handrail that's coming up from the street, and this handrail would be along these existing steps that go from the back of the driveway up to the rear terrace. For the details of it, again, these are the various elevations. This is the one, this is existing sidewalk at the street and the existing picket fence that is at the street. The new handrail that goes up along this walkway. We can see a bit of the one that goes to the driveway, and then the existing and new ones that would be at the front steps. Here's the plan of that in detail. On the this drawing shows the new steps. This is a section through the steps going from the driveway across the property and up towards the front door. This shows the new steps at a more gradual pitch, and the railings that would be alongside it. This is that same, looking at those same steps from the driveway view. So this is the existing stone wall. These are, again, these would be new steps with a lower riser. This is the driveway and the steps that go up along the back of the house from the driveway to the rear terrace. Those are existing stone steps, and we would be adding a new rail there. These are some more details of the same. These are the drawing details of the actual railing itself. So these would be steel uprights that would be painted a dark color to match the one that's already there. And these are the, this is the same profile cap that's on the existing railing and the same lamb's tongue at the end, and we're just simply changing the material to bronze so that it just requires less maintenance, and it turns brown over time. And details of the steps themselves. with fieldstone risers and bluestone treads to match the ones that are already there. Are there any questions?
Sure, Rosina?
There seem to be 3 step lights on the existing steps, but in the drawing, it doesn't seem that you guys are adding any step lights. Is that correct?
We're not. These treads are too short for step lights, so those would not be part of this. Yes.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
George?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Chris?
Excellent application, John. Thank you very much. No questions.
Thank you.
Margaret?
I have no questions, and the drawings are very nice, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
Jim?
No questions.
And Art?
No questions, Adam.
Okay. John, I just have I guess a little comment. Can you scroll down to, or scroll to the other page, previous page?
This one? This one, this page?
Maybe the next one. That shows the locations in red.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the bottom picture there. So, I mean, I think these are obviously very delicate handrails, or as minimal as you can make them.
Right.
But I feel like the one along the left-hand side of the walkway will be, very visible. I think all of these will sort of be very visible. Is there a plan for maybe planting to sort of soften them a little bit?
Well,
I mean, I know they're necessary and all that, but I mean, I think especially the one on that path on the left seems like it'll be a lot of handrails.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't disagree at all. I think it's the reason we're going to paint them dark, because I think they'll tend to recede more. There isn't necessarily a plan to change the planting in the front yard. I think they do appreciate. Actually, the previous owner, the previous owners took the sort of immaculate care of the property, and they like very much how everything is landscaped, and they don't have a lot of lawn, but there is a little bit of lawn here, and it just I don't think there is a plan to plant out the railing.
Okay. If we stipulated some sort of planning, would you be agreeable to that? On some of these? I mean, it's really not a whole lot, but.
Yeah. I'd certainly be happy to discuss it with them. I mean, I think they're eager to get these, even though they just moved in. I think they're eager to get these going sooner. I know they're eager to get them going, so they're
okay. I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, on the walkway from the street, from Harbor Road up, how steep is that path? Are there any steps?
It's not terribly steep, but there is an incline there, so it's a slight grade at that point. Yeah.
So I mean, I know it's preferred to have the extra handrail there, but is it? Do you think it's really necessary to have that particular stretch?
I guess I again, I sympathize, and I think I would ask myself the same question. And except when I came here to look at the house with him, he wanted to. We were standing here, and he wanted to see what the neighbor's driveway looked like. The neighbor off, as I'm looking at the front of the house, the neighbor off to the left. And so we started walking from the driveway. That would be, say over here, from his driveway up to the neighbor's driveway. And I was holding his arm, and that took him about 10 minutes. And so I'd say, as far as, he's trying to keep walking and not be in a wheelchair, so that I know he knows that you know, it's a downhill slope once you stop walking. So he's trying to remain active. It's really not safe for him, you know, without some kind of a, you know, if they're bluestone, you know, bluestone can be slightly irregular. It just, they're all very worried about him tripping again. So
Clearly.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, those are the only questions / comments I have. Anyone else? Okay. I did not receive any
Thank you for your
letters
time.
in favor of this application. You're welcome. And I did not receive any letters opposing this application, so the hearing is closed. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Next on the application, or next on the agenda, is Michael Latefi, 1170 Hillside Road in Fairfield, for property located 1170 Hillside Road in Fairfield. To A, remove existing siding and trim on entire home. B, install AZAC material for all new corner boards with window and door trim, 3.5 inch width. C, install new clapboard siding on entire home, 1/2 inch by 6 inch material with 4 inch exposure. D, remove existing garage doors and close openings. E, install new garage with a covered hallway leading from the mudroom door to garage. And F, install new roof over entire house.
Hi, everyone.
Mr.
Yes, hi. Thank you for your time. I believe I presented our case to you on July 12th, 2018, and this project was approved by Historic. It took us a very long time, as some of you may know, for us to take this project through zoning, building, and conservation. So I'm back in front of the commission again, and wanted to present what we are trying to do. So the current look of the house is like so. This area used to be, can you see, by the way, my screen?
No.
You can. I just want to make sure. How do I browser? Okay, let's see.
So a button on the bottom that says share.
All right. I don't know how to share a screen. I'm trying to figure that out. Can you give me 1 minute, please?
On the bottom where it says share, there's a big button.
Do I have to download an app for this? To share screen?
No, there's a button on the bottom that says share content next to mute video, share, record.
All right. Can you see me now? Can you see my screen now?
No.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, but we can't see anything. We lost your visual. There you are. I think you hit stop video. If you go to the right of that, there's a share button. Or on the top pull down menu, there's a share button.
No.
I'll share mine, okay? Michael? Michael? There you go. Michael? Michael?
Sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out how to use this. I don't know if, can you see my,
I'm sharing right now.
Okay. All right,
I'm sharing your.
Well,
So
I had
just do that, okay?
I had a whole bunch of pictures that I mean, I don't know if you've seen our house, our home before, but I had a whole bunch of pictures, real time, real pictures to share with you. But I think this is good enough. So essentially, all we want to do is what we got approved for a few years ago, which is to put in a 2-door garage where right next to where our old garage was, which we converted into a living space. It's very straightforward. We are revivalists, so we want to maintain the look and feel of the original building, the original home, and all of the renovations that we've done so far has been, in essence, to bring back the look of the historic look of the home. In the 80s and 90s, some revisions were made that sort of, splintered off from that look. So we're trying to bring that back. So all we want to do is very, very simple. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Is do the exact same thing we got approved for 2 years ago, which is to put a 2-door garage on the side of the, I mean, I can't show you, but on the side of the home. And there's a walkway to the garage, again, maintaining the same look and feel of the home. But that's pretty much it. There's nothing more. Oh, there's one more component I forgot, which is that obviously the driveway has to be rearranged so that the car could fit into the garage. 2 years ago, that component of the application was not approved, and the commissioners asked that I come back for that part. Now that I am back in front of you, I thought that I should also ask for you to consider that component as well, so that it's the garage and the driveway.
Okay, Mike, what's all these other things on your application? Remove existing siding and trim, install AZAC, all that. What's that? Is that part of your application or no?
That was the original application, and we removed siding. We've done all that work already, but the component of the garage was not done. So the new application, we did it at haste because we wanted to make sure we slated ourselves in this hearing. So some of the old language is still in the application that we revamped and sent back to you.
Okay. Michael, we've been back and forth with how the process works with the historic, and it's, now there's a 1 year limit. Your certificate of appropriateness is good for 1 year, right? Before it expires. You have to, like for instance, for the driveway, we can't talk. The driveway is not on your agenda. It's not on your application. So, I mean, you're gonna have to come back to the driveway.
Actually, I'll show you. If I could share my screen with you, I have the minutes from the July 12th, 2018. The driveway is mentioned in that application. I believe it's also in this application. If it's not, then that's fine. We'll just start. We'll reapply for the driveway later.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to. It's not in this application, and so anyway, yeah. I mean, it's okay. Anyway, okay. We'll go ask questions now. Chris, do you have any questions?
Yeah. Thank you, Adam. I was confused by this application because many of the items on it don't reflect the drawings, and so I didn't know what the intent was. For example, it calls to remove existing vertical siding, but the drawings still indicate vertical siding. And apparently,
so I would
perhaps
I would remove all language not related to the garage. The only language that we wanted to have on the application.
Well, then you should have done that. before you put the application in?
We had 1 day to send the application in. We had 1 day. And it's because we've gone through this process, and quite honestly, I feel that is the fault of the city to make us go through this process for 2 years to just do a simple garage. So we've done that. We've got accepted, we've got approved by all the different departments, and now I'm back with historic with the same application. There's nothing has changed from the old application to this application.
I have no further comments or
Margaret?
questions.
Oh, Margaret's recusing herself. I'm sorry. Jim?
No questions.
No questions, Adam. Thanks.
Rosina?
One question. So everything that's in this application has already been done, basically?
Except the garage. Except the garage.
So you have already put AZEK material on the corner boards, windows, and door trims, correct?
Yeah. There was a revision made on the siding, and we ran this by historic a few months ago, and we actually made the changes already. But everything else, with the exception of garage, has already been done, yes.
Okay. I'm assuming that the garage doors are wood, correct?
Yes, yes.
And the material of the new roof, that was the same replacing kind, or?
Yes, it's going to be exactly the same kind. However, we're currently also going through this process with historic of having solar roof with Tesla, but that's a different application, and that's happening by itself. So that's different from this. So the way we're doing it right now is going to be the same exact roof that we have right now. It's the asphalt roof that we have right now is going to be used for the garage. No difference.
Okay. I guess I don't have any questions.
George?
Chris, just as a matter of order, did we approve the building of the garage? It's my understanding, and I remember this application very well. I remember when you blocked in the old garage and wanted to do the end, and you were told at that time that you had to come back to do the garage. Is this the comeback? Hello, Michael.
No, you're asking me or Chris?
Well, I guess I'm asking you or Chris, either one. But
okay, yeah. So no, it was that I brought this in front of the commission twice. The second time it was approved. The garage, the installation of the garage was fully approved. But the only I think the only exception that the commission made is that the rearrangement of the driveway, they needed more, I guess, drawings for that. But that was the only thing.
So then what I guess I'm hearing you're doing is you're refreshing your application to make it up to date, because the old one went stale, number one. And number two, you're being more explicit on the driveway. And everything else, including the AZEK and the garage, were approved prior.
Well, Commissioner Clark, yes, but I tried to pass the driveway on this meeting as well, but obviously I don't have enough information. So you're requesting for me to do that again. So, but for the time being, I'd like to get my garage built. It's taking me 2 years, and now we're going into the winter season. With all COVID and everything, it makes everything very complicated. So I'd like to just go ahead and build my garage since we've done all the other work with the different departments to get this thing done.
No further questions.
Okay. Just to clarify, I mean, AZEK I know was never approved on the house. So if you have AZEK on the house, Michael, you're in violation because we would never approve it. So.
Oh, no. I mean, AVAC system you're talking about?
AZEK for trim.
Oh,
Synthetic trim, plastic trim?
We've done no, we haven't. We used I'm not sure because this was something that my wife spearheaded with our contractor. But whatever we got approved for, we did. The only thing that I'm here asking for is the garage, the installation of the garage.
Okay. Can I ask you quite like on the windows? Are there going to be any muntins, any divisions in the windows, or is it going to be these blank windows like this?
It's going to be exactly what you see.
Drawing.
It's exactly what you see on the drawing. We're not changing anything beyond what was approved already.
Okay. I mean, it's not really, aren't the rest of the windows, the existing windows, don't they have divisions in the panes?
Do they have division in the panes? It's exactly like the drawing. So yeah. There is division on the drawing, isn't there?
No. You're looking at it. This window here, it's going to be like that. It's just like two.
Because the rest of the house is like that. It's going to be identical. Are you talking about the individual cells? It's going to have cells like the rest of the house. It's the exact.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Cells.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So it's
okay.
It's
just not shown that way.
Yeah. Well, but right. You know, when we presented this. And if I were in front of you, I would have probably brought something, but it's exactly the same. So there is nothing. It's the Anderson windows that is used all over the house is going to also be on the garage.
Wait. Anderson windows were never approved. Those aren't wood.
Whatever that's used on the, I guess it's partially wood. Whatever that's used on the rest of the house is used in the garage. I'm not an architect. Obviously, I'm not a contractor. I'm in the biotech field, so I can't answer every question about the material used, but I can tell you it's identical to the rest of the house.
Okay. Okay, I mean, I don't have any other questions at the moment. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, I do not have any emails or letters in support of this application, and I don't have any letters against this application, so the hearing's closed. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And we'll go around back to the Gerardo and Gabrielle Byrd, 494 Harbor Road in Southport, for property located at 494 Harbor Road in Southport. For A, reinstall previously approved front door storm screens. B, new window existing opening. C, remove shelves on rear porch. D, relocate, replace 2 exterior doors and 1 stoop. E, new pantry window. And F, relocate, replace range hood vent. Do we have someone here to represent 494 Harbor Road?
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Jerry Byrd. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Okay.
Byrdo. Do I have your name spelled incorrectly?
It's Byrd.
I guess I do.
B-U-R-D.
Apologize for that.
Oh, no worries.
Okay.
So can you assist me with showing our submission, as I can't seem to access it?
Of course, yeah. Just tell me where you'd like me to go.
Okay, that'd be good for right now. But okay, so my apologies for my use of the computer and getting on. So my wife and I purchased 494 Harbor Road in July, and I've been a lifelong resident, as is she. So we're fairly excited about really restoring the house to make it as authentic as we can. So we're doing some interior renovations, primarily to the kitchen, which require a few exterior adjustments. So the house was built in 1848. It's a Gothic revival house, and it was originally known as the Allen House. So I guess if we could go to item A, which is to reinstall the previously approved front door storm and screens, which is right there. So we found the, which you can see in the top there, the blue screens. We found them in the basement, and our goal is to put them back on the house. And, you know, I think we want to keep the front doors open as much as possible and kind of capture the breezes. We're directly across the street from the window. So is the process you ask questions now or ask questions at the end?
At the end, you go through, just present your application, and then we'll go around and ask questions.
Okay, so if you could go scroll down to item B, which is the new window. So right there. So as you can see on the second floor there used to be a window, and it's actually, you can see from the inside of the house that it's actually framed. And the shutters are closed, but there's really no window behind it, so it's like a dummy window. It appears to be the same age as the other windows, but it's just the frame that is trimmed to mimic a window and allow for the shutters to close. We would like to bring more light into the upstairs, and we propose making a functional window. Most likely it'll be a full frame new window to match the size and detail of the others, but if possible, we will try to reuse the existing frame and simply add new sashes within it, which would allow us to keep the existing exterior trim intact. If a full frame replacement is needed, the top exterior trim details and shutters will be reused as much as possible, and any new trim will replicate the existing. Okay, if we can go to item C, which is remove shelves on the rear porch, which is actually right, you can see right below it. So there, so at some point, some modern shelves were built in there, which aren't really authentic to the house, and we'd like to remove them. And unfortunately, the workers got a little ahead of us and already took them out. So we apologize for that. So item D, relocate, replace 2 existing doors and 1 stoop. If you could scroll down. Okay, that's an example of the window.
Oh.
Okay, perfect. So in order to make the best kitchen we could, and we were actually, our architect and my wife have kind of trying to model the kitchen after a 1920s kitchen when plumbing was first introduced to the house, we believe. We decided to shift the 2 exterior doors, each over slightly from the original locations. They are located in the rear wing that we believe was added in the late 19th century, probably around 1890. One is under the rear porch and the other is the street side of the addition. We realized that the doors were not only modern replacements with an inappropriate pane pattern, but they appeared to have been taller at one time. So besides shifting them slightly, we're making them each 4 inches narrower, 4 inches taller, and giving them a design that's in keeping with the house. They will all be made of wood, and the storm and screen doors will be as well. On the door that faces towards the road, the stoop will necessarily need to be shifted over also. It will also be rebuilt in wood, similar to the existing is in disrepair. So, and then item E is the new butler's pantry window. We're creating a butler pantry and would like to bring some light into that area. And the new window will be all wood with exterior trim details matching others on the house, as shown on the drawing. And then lastly, we just...
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
And lastly, we just want to relocate the range hood vent. So the range will be in a new location, so we'll need to install a new vent. If it's possible to bring the vent up to the roof, so it needs to be a wall-mounted vent. Once again, however, the new design will be less obtrusive than the existing vent, which is awful, and will be located further from the front of the house. Okay, I think that's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Jim, do you have any questions?
No questions?
Art?
No, thank you.
Chris?
No questions.
George?
No questions.
And Rosina?
No questions.
And Margaret has recused herself. Let me see if I have any questions. Just the windows are going to be wood. Yeah, new wood to match existing new wood window. I don't think I have any questions. Your proposal looks pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
I did not receive any letters in favor of this application, and I did not receive any letters opposing this application. So this hearing is closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the consideration of the agenda items. We'll start with the first item on the agenda, Haley and Christopher Milligan, 75 Old South Road, Southport, for property located at 75 Old South Road in Southport, 4A. New garage with office above and existing 2-car garage footprint, 12 foot wider than existing. B, additional windows in master hall on second floor, and C, additional window in mudroom. And Jim Bohan will be voting on this application. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second that. Adam, can't hear you.
I muted myself. I was going to say,
Jim
that.
made the motion and I seconded it.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Jim Bohan made the motion and Art seconded that. And any discussion? Any consideration with the scale?
I think it's fairly straightforward. At first, I was concerned about the size. It seems a good deal bigger, but they're abiding by the planning and zoning coverage. But I think it's fairly straightforward and appropriate.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay. All right, let's vote on it. All in favor?
Consider my hand raised.
Okay. Opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Second item is Gerardo and Gabrielle Byrd, 494 Harbor Road in Southport. Okay, Margaret's recusing for property located at 494 Harbor Road in Southport. For A, reinstall previously approved door storm screens. B, new window and existing opening. C, remove shelves on rear porch. D, relocate, replace 2 exterior doors and 1 stoop. E, new pantry window. F, relocate, replace range hood vent. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion of approve A, B, C, D, E, and F as presented.
And I'd second that as well.
Rosini makes a motion and George seconds. Discussion? No discussion. Let's vote. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item is Jim Bohan is voting on this Brady and Vikram Bhutani, 480 Old Post Road in Fairfield, for property located at 480 Old Post Road in Fairfield. 2A, replace chain link fence with cedar fence on east side of house. B, extend cedar fence on west side of from back of garage to front end of garage. And C, move picket fence from back of garage to front of garage. We have a motion.
I'll make the motion to deny it without prejudice, items A, B, and C for discussion.
Oh, second that.
Okay. Okay, Rosina makes a motion and Margaret seconds. Discussion?
I agree with Jack Franzen's comment that we need to see drawings, elevation drawings. Every time something like this comes through, we can't just have a flat map. So we need a lot more drawings. I mean, right now it's a mess.
And I agree with Margaret and the fact that almost every single fence that was presented in June was moved forward, aligned with the building. It kind of even makes it like the buildings, the fence that is towards the office of the next property kind of begins to make the connection, like a really straight connection between the building with the arbor, with the garage, and that other fence, which there shouldn't be that very straightforward connection because the garage will be a standalone building. Originally, the house was in a way part of the same property as that other office that's in the other property. So by putting the garage there, we made an extra connection. So now we're kind of even adding more connections into that property. So it might be good to see how can this be resolved. Yes, there's fence for the pool, but it doesn't have to be at that point because the pool is right behind the house. It's not behind the garage at all. So.
I mean, the reality is they do have an approved fence plan, which is not what they have built, but they can do that.
Right.
But I think denying what's built right now is probably the best thing to do. It's definitely not appropriate to have, especially that fence extending on the east side and then intersecting with a white picket fence and an iron fence. It just doesn't make any sense. It should be less visible and set back from the front of the house. With the front of the house.
I think we need good drawings of what's there and good drawings of a revised proposal because, it's nice to make it easy for people and just say, oh, we can just, point it out on the survey and tell us what you're doing. But it protects us too, because now it's very hard to go back and figure out what was actually approved. We know that what's there isn't what we approved, but it's very wishy-washy as to what was approved. So more drawings.
I agree, but at this point, I mean, like I said, they have approved plans or an approved application.
Yeah. I understand.
The information is there. The height of the picket fence was there. It's higher than I would have liked, and I didn't catch that 5-foot high fence. The arbor wasn't included. So there are some things that we missed. At this point, I'm not sure if drawings are going to solve that. But I think you're right. In the future, I think we definitely need to be a little bit more. I mean, we have other applications where the drawings are getting very sketchy, and they just don't have enough information to make a good decision. Anyone else?
Isn't there the only ambiguity in the drawings was that cedar fence on the east side of the property? And that, The point is, they built stuff that was not approved. And we can't approve that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Should we take a vote? All in favor? The motion is to deny without prejudice. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is George Clark is voting. Mr. and Mrs. Robert C. Wright, 260 Harbor Road, for property located at 260 Harbor Road to A, replace existing fieldstone, bluestone steps and retaining walls with less steep set of steps in existing location, all materials to match existing, and to B, add bronze and painted steel handrails in various locations as shown on plan. We have a motion.
Motion to approve as presented.
One at a
I'll
time.
second it.
Who's made the motion?
Margaret.
Margaret made the motion, okay. Art seconds. Discussion? Personally, I have a small issue with the one, I mean, there's a lot of handrails, and I understand that there's a, accessibility issue here that we're contending with, but we also have to, I think, look at the property from an historical standpoint, and having a wrought iron handrail running from the street, down the path, the front walkway, which doesn't have any steps on it, it has a slight grade. It's pretty exposed. There's no other example in the district of anyone doing that.
But also the way that I see it is it's something that's removable at some point. So it is something that fits the owners at this moment. If there are other owners eventually, it can always be removed. So it's not something that really affects the property, and it will be permanent.
The next person's going to want to, they're going to want to get rid of it. I also think, what else do you do, really? I mean, that's probably the least obtrusive version of, of what will help them. And I think it's important to have it there. But, I understand your point, Adam, completely.
But are you really going to park on Harbor Road and walk up that walkway, or are you going to drive in the driveway? So is it really, I get it, I get what they're saying, but is it really a functional, is it really critical?
Well, some people like to go for a walk, and I think if it were me, I'd go down that front path. That would be how I'd go out for a walk.
Yeah.
Once you get past your front walkway, though, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you're railless.
He's clearly, he needs assistance, to go for a walk. So I guess my point is, if they have the railings to actually get to and from the front door from the driveway, and if he wants to go for a walk, he's going to need assistance anyway. And I don't know.
I guess I would argue. I would say that if you're on the sidewalk, there's always something to grab onto. There's a fence, or there's a tree, or there's something there. But if that railing weren't there, that's just all open lawn. There's nothing to kind of balance yourself on. So I think, maybe he would want to just go for a walk to his front gate, and I think he should be able to do that. If it were me, I'd want to be able to do that. But I understand where you're coming from, though. It's not ideal, but I think it's an important enough reason to allow it.
We have to assume that railing's not going to disappear anytime soon, if ever. It could, once it's in, yes, it can be removed, just like a lot of things, but it's not going to be that easy to remove. It's going to be set in cement.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
something you just rip out. It's going to be pretty permanent.
What does everybody else think? Anybody else have any thoughts on it?
I mean, I would just kind of, you know, piggyback on what you said, Margaret. It's really a very minimalistic rail. There's not much at all to it. And while maybe it's not the most ideal situation, I would think that the owner of the property should be able to, you know, age in place and enjoy his front walkway without always having to need assistance. So if the rail helps him to do that, I would be in favor of him being able to have that. So I'm in favor of the application.
Yeah, well said, Chris.
Okay. Well, let's take a vote then. All in favor?
Yeah. I think I'll go with the rail.
Go with the rail. Motion passes unanimously. Last item on the agenda, Jim, you're voting on this. Michael Atefi, 1170 Hillside Road, for property located at 1170 Hillside Road. For A, remove existing siding and trim on entire home. B, install, oh no, I'm sorry, these, I guess we have to read them in and deny them, but remove existing siding, trim on the entire home, install AZAC material for all new corner boards, windows, door trim. C, install new clapboard siding. D, remove existing garage doors and close openings. E, install new garage with covered hallway leading from the mudroom door to garage. F, install new roof over entire house. And Margaret's recusing herself. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion for discussion to deny without prejudice items A, B, C, D, E, and F.
I'll second that.
Art seconds. Rosina makes a motion and Art seconds.
Okay. But
Discussion?
didn't he
See
say
some
that
decision?
everything except G has already been done?
Yeah, but it's part of the
G is-
application, so we have to, Jim, it's part of this application that's been submitted, so we have to vote on it, whether, I don't know what's going on with this stuff, but it was submitted in the application, so we need to vote on it, and we'll just deny it. Deny those.
So does that mean we're denying stuff that has been built? Except for G?
No. Jim, they're irrelevant. I mean, whether they've been done or not, it's sort of irrelevant.
Okay.
We're just going to deny them because he didn't want them on the agenda anyway. They're not part of his application. They're holdovers, but we noticed it and it's part of our agenda, so we have to act on it.
And this
So
is
in
no
my
way-
opinion,
Yep.
in my opinion, the application is fairly confusing because we don't know exactly what he is asking from us. I know all these items are there. I know he wants to build a garage, but don't think we have enough information to be able to make a logical decision.
I mean, I'd have to agree with you. I'd have to agree with you. I mean,
I would like to see drawings that.
Rosina, does your motion include denying G, letter G?
There's no G.
I thought G was a garage.
Jim. No, E is the garage.
Okay.
All we are voting on is E, the garage. Or Todd, that's what we're discussing. Everything else will be denying.
Okay,
And the garage is very, I mean, the windows aren't accurate. He doesn't tell us what kind of windows.
Right.
There's going to match the existing, and he's saying they're Anderson windows, which is in violation. I mean, you're right. Confusing is an understatement. I mean, I don't know what's going on. He wants, you know.
so we're in effect
So,
denying the garage. I would agree with that.
Jim, that is the motion on the table is to deny. Is it to deny without
Okay.
prejudice or to deny?
Okay,
Rosina. Rosina, what was your motion? To deny without prejudice or to deny?
Deny without prejudice, A, B, C, D, E, and F,
Yeah, okay,
so
yeah.
that they can come back and
So they
make
can
sense
come
of the
back.
application and
I mean,
present
you all
something.
should be aware, you should be aware of the history of this project. He came twice before, 2 years ago. The first time it was denied. The second time it was approved. I was not there for the approval, but it was approved. And then he let 2 years pass and his certificate of appropriateness lapsed, so it was no longer valid. And he's been creating a stir with the first selectwoman and the town attorney, and so this will. I don't know what else to do, and we don't have much of a choice but to act on the way we feel is appropriate.
Well, Adam, you do
and
have
act.
a choice. You can decide on the garage alone, but you
Hey,
decide
Michael.
not to have a
Hey,
choice.
Michael. And then he's like, you know, he's barging into our closed session meeting. I mean, this is the kind of person I'm dealing with. You know. So, anyway.
We just need more clarity
Yeah.
on what has been done, what is going to be done. So.
Yeah,
I would like to see an application that indicates, you know, what he's asking us to approve. Right now, I mean, you know, for example, to your point, the driveway wasn't noticed, but he wants a driveway. That should be on the application. And vertical siding is drawn on the garage, except that the application says remove the vertical siding and he wants horizontal clapboard siding. So again, I'm just confused with so much of this that it's better that it's
his original application had his original application had, you know, like nails for subfloor, and you know, it's like stuff that was had nothing to do with the application. It was just like a construction proposal list that he just sort of put in there. And I mean, it's just not thought out. But anyway, we'll be seeing him again. So let's vote on this application. All in favor of the denial without prejudice? The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda is to approve minutes from the August meeting. And Jim, Art, and Rosina were there. Can we get a motion to approve those?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
Makes the motion and Rosina seconds. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Chairman's report, the repairs. We have repairs at 1074 Harbor Road, repaired damaged fence at the end of driveway, repaired damaged railing on south side of house. 1220 Hillside Road, replace and repair damaged roof with existing roof material. 416 Pequot Avenue, replace broken shutters in kind, repair damaged roof on exterior. 831 Hillside Road, repair and replace existing roof with new cedar roof. 561 Pequot Avenue, replace existing asphalt roof in kind. 244 Main Street, replace rooftop HVAC unit. 319 Harbor Road, replace existing asphalt roof in kind. 45 Westway Road, repair wood rot, replace triple jack track storms with same. 216 Old South Road, replace existing stockade fence in kind. And 1177 Hillside Road, replace cedar roof in kind. We have no violations this month. And old business, any update on the handbook revisions with Rosina and Chris? Have you guys had a chance to do any work on the handbook?
Any in my court on that, and I apologize to the commission for not following up with that. So we'll have Rosina and I will have a report for next month's hearing.
All right, I'll keep it on the agenda. So whenever you guys have something, it's fine with me. No rush. New business, the alternate commissioner that was proposed, she, I guess, was supposed to go before the Board of Selectmen at the last meeting and was canceled for some reason. I think the first select woman had a conflict. She's on the agenda for, I think, on Monday for the Board of Selectmen, so that process is starting. I received a request from people in the Old Post Road District for the commission to write a letter and sign this petition. The commissioners, this is a petition right here. Somebody's making a lot of noise. Who is that? Anyway, did I share that with you?
I got the same request, and they requested for me to write it as a commissioner. I actually wrote it as a neighbor instead, just to be on the safe side.
Okay, that's great. That's fine. You can each individually write letters if you like, or I can write one representing the commission as a whole. Just let me know, what you'd like to do. But this is the website, change.org. If you, I can forward this. Actually, I will forward the letter that I received from Walter Shaw. But this describes what's going on. There's I don't know if you're familiar with 8-30G, which allows contractors to build whatever they want, essentially. And they're planning on doing one on 131 Beach Road, which is outside the historic district, but a lot of the, Old Post Road people in the historic district think that this will negatively impact the district because of its size and location. So
it's adjacent to one of the properties in the historic district, so it's just outside of. It's the old Masonic Temple.
It's just on the border, currently.
Yeah.
So I'll send that to you guys if anyone's interested in signing the petition. You don't have to, of course. And that's all I have. Anyone else have any new business to share, discuss?
Adam, I had a letter from Ann Jones, who lives on the Old Post Road, on South Benson and the Old Post Road, the southwest corner. A very eloquent letter against 480 proposal. I also got a letter from Dr. Backey. Did you not get those?
I got the letter from Henry. That was more of a letter to the commission with recommendations, which I distributed to the commissioners. Didn't seem like it was appropriate to read into the minutes, but I can include it in the minutes, include it in the record.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily have to read it. And the letter from Ann's.
If they'll be in the minutes, that's.
I know, she
that's
was a letter questioning what was happening, and I explained to her that he was in violation and that he was presenting this month.
Okay,
Any other business
that's all.
to discuss?
Chris, we can't
I
hear
can't
you.
hear you, Chris. Chris, your audio is gone. Okay. So I think that's it, guys. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Rosina makes a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
All right, so adjourned.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank
Have a
you,
good one.
everyone.
Thank you,
Adam. Very well.